Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH Rebirth of Emperor Yang episode number 37 based on novel. So let's start. On the edge of the sky, an almost invisible shadow flashed by. Then, on the void square, a human shadow flashed out instantly. After a week around the square, it was settled in front of Jiu Li. A beautiful face, a black robe, a strong force of fire, and a terrible soul force are invisible, which makes the space around him fluctuate. This person is not Xiao Yang, who else can there be? The appearance of Xiao Yang seems to have caused a great commotion on the whole empty square. It seems that what Hu Leoge said is not the truth. Jiu Li saw Xiao Yang in front of him, and his old face also showed an unbelievable look, and the red phosphorus on one side suddenly stood up at the moment when Xiao Yang appeared. With Jiu Li's strength, even he was shocked by the changes in Xiao Yang. He could clearly feel that Xiao Yang's physical strength had made a qualitative leap again in January. Xiao Yang, who looks like a weak scholar on the surface, is no less than Wei Yi under Jiu Li's observation. Even if Xiao Yang breaks out with all his strength, Wei Yi is afraid to be unmatched. However, what surprised Jiu Li most was Xiao Yang's terrible speed. Although he had heard of Xiao Yang's terrible speed before January, it was not until today that he saw Xiao Yang's real speed. Moreover, the speed shown by Xiao Yang was even more terrible than the description of the population. Under the limit of such speed, I'm afraid Jiu Li must be treated seriously. Relying on this alone, Xiao Yang's speed can be smacked by people. Hehe, President Jiu Li, I didn't see you in January. It seems that he is worried about me. I came back from a long way, but I didn't dare to neglect it at all. I hurried back. Naturally, Xiao Yang's words were just casual. Jiu Li raised his eyebrows and then responded with a smile. Xiao Yang helped him step down. He naturally wanted it. The people on the stand understand that Jiu Li is waiting for the rock owl to come back. He hasn't been in vain for a month. Compared with the relaxed meaning in Jiu Li's heart, Mo Zhai and Wei Yi became gloomy instantly, and more importantly, they were dignified. In any case, they can't imagine how Xiao Yang, a little 3-star and half emperor, and Fang Zun, who has been famous for a long time, could lose to him. Or, did the two old things reach some agreement with the rock owl? At this point, Mo Zhai and Wei Yi couldn't help looking at each other, but they all saw the dignified color on the opposite side. This rock owl is more difficult to deal with than they imagined. As for the old Hu monster, his heart is also very dignified. I'm afraid the speed shown by Xiao Yang is no less than that of him, but the most important thing is that Xiao Yang's strength is only 3-star half emperor. Xiao Yang's timely return also caused a big stone in Jiu Li's heart to fall again. At present, the most important meeting of medicine refiners can finally continue. After talking and laughing with Xiao Yang, Jiu Li turned around and flew in front of old Hu monster, turned his back to him, and ignored the gloomy face of old Hu monster behind him. He glanced at everyone on the empty square. Then his palm pressed the space in front of him, making the audience quiet. Then Jiu Li slowly opened his mouth and said with a smile, Hehe, you just had a little episode. You don't have to worry about it. The most important thing is that Yang Xiao, the elder of our herbalist guild, has gone out and returned. Therefore, I announce that the herbalist assembly will continue now. Wow. Jiu Li's words fell, and the whole void square burst into warm applause in an instant, but the sound seemed so harsh in the ears of Mo Zhai and Wei Yi. The old Hu monster looked very low on his old face, and a pair of cloudy old eyes stared at Jiu Li in front of him like an eagle hook, with unspeakable cruelty in the depths of his pupils. Jiu Li seemed to be aware of this, but he just glanced at the old Hu monster behind him with his remaining light. With his strength, even the old Hu monster with the same 8-star and half emperor would never dare to act rashly. After all, this is the territory of his herbalist guild. In addition, Guli has red phosphorus, which is not weaker than his helper. Therefore, these two people can be regarded as truly invincible in the wild ancient city. If old monster who really dares to do it, he will only suffer in the end. As an old guy who has lived for so long, he is not stupid at all. Jiu Li's opening remarks ended, and it was time for Xiao Yang and Jiu Li to hand over everything in the game. Jiu Li smiled at Xiao Yang and glanced at Wei Yi standing in the distance. When he moved, he returned to the referee's seat. Hu Leoge snorted coldly, waved his big sleeve, flashed his body, and then disappeared in the middle of the void square. At the same time, on the void square, in the void, the invisible space was distorted and illusory, and then it condensed into a stone platform out of thin air, just like a stone platform embedded in mid-air. Xiao Yang also knows that this will not be a test. At their level, it is a general test, but he can't see anything. If he wants to witness the strength of a high-level herbalist, only the art of refining medicine can make every penny come true. The 3 stone terraces were triangular and scattered in 3 directions of the whole void square. Xiao Yang did not hesitate. When Mo Zhai and Wei Yi moved, they grabbed a stone platform respectively. Xiao Yang's footwork changed, and a faint silver light flashed from the bottom of Xiao Yang's feet. At the same time, Xiao Yang's body appeared on the remaining stone platform. In the place where Xiao Yang just disappeared, a virtual shadow of Xiao Yang slowly looked up and looked at Xiao Yang's eyes. Then the corners of his mouth smiled and scattered. The strangeness of this scene is that everyone on the whole stand was shocked by it, just a residual shadow, but they were able to make actions. This kind of momentum is really the first time they have seen in their life. Xiao Yang is too lazy to explain this, but in Xiao Yang's heart at the moment, he seems quite excited. Now he can make his residual shadows come out by virtue of the secret of the 9-turn avatar formula. If he continues to practice it in the future, he will exist longer and his body will be more solid. Isn't there another countless incarnations out of thin air? This is another great help in the war. I'm afraid few people can reach this realm. With this in mind, Xiao Yang can't help feeling a little excited, but the most important thing now is the general meeting of medicine refiners. After waiting for nearly 2 months, he can finally fight with this high-level medicine refiner. Although he has a grudge against these 2 people in his heart, Xiao Yang is more interested in their medicine refining skills. As for the account with these 2 people, it's not too late. What Xiao Yang did just now also made Mo Zhai look at him, but now he can't think anymore. With a wave of his big sleeve, the ink flame suddenly swept out of the cyclone in his body and turned into a powerful dragon snake, churning constantly in the space in front of Mo Zhai, and the smell of terror spread from him. The complexion of some semi-imperialist strongmen in the field can't help but change. Then, Mo Zhai's palm spun in the air, and the ink-colored dragon snake suddenly turned into a big mouth. A thick black fog was spit out by him, and then it turned into an ink-colored pan snake tripod, which looked rather seeping. Compared with Mo Zhai, Wei Yi's blue and gold flame is not as good as that of Mo Zhai, but it still has a good momentum. The huge green and gold beast's body was shocked, and an overbearing flame spread instantly and solidified around its body into an invisible medicine tripod. Then, the turquoise gold was a big mouth, and a pillar of fire through the sky was sprayed out of its mouth. Then it collided with the invisible medicine tripod like painting and wrapped it quickly. It was another powerful medicine tripod, which was quickly solidified at this moment. Next, it's Xiao Yang's turn. After seeing Xiao Yang's different fire, people are more impressed by Xiao Yang's flame. Now, Mo Zhai and Wei Yi have already lit the tripod. I'm afraid Xiao Yang's next fire tripod condensed with different fire is not vulgar at all. However, when everyone was looking forward to it, Xiao Yang frowned slightly and hesitated slightly in his heart. Different fire condenses the tripod. For today's Xiao Yang, it's just a matter between his fingers, and it's not a big deal. But the key is that what he wants to refine today is the real imperial pill. Although Xiao Yang was lucky to have seen this kind of pill, it's just seen it. Don't say that he cares about its properties. Even the most basic pill, Xiao Yang has never been in contact with. Xiao Yang is nervous about refining imperial elixir for the first time now, but he doesn't want to lose to these 2 guys when refining imperial elixir for the first time. Hesitated for a long time in the heart, and the people on the stand also looked at each other. Even Jiu Li at the moment looked at red phosphorus on one side, but they all frowned and didn't speak. They still couldn't guess what Xiao Yang wanted to do. Finally, after a long time, Xiao Yang finally made a decision in his heart. A domineering light flashed in his eyes. Xiao Yang's body standing on the stone platform also stood out of thin air. Then his fingers stroked the ring between his fingers. His mind moved. A medicine tripod as strong as Mount Tai was born in the air and appeared in front of everyone. The next moment, the look on the faces of Jiu Li and red phosphorus on the referee's bench was also solidified in an instant, and generally, there were Mo Zhai and Wei Yi. The huge medicine tripod as strong as Mount Tai crashed down like a meteorite falling from the sky. At the moment, the stone platform, which was originally stable on the void, could not help but tremble violently, and the silk cracks spread rapidly like a spider's web. This stone platform seems to be almost broken. If you add another force, you can completely break it. The green and golden medicine tripod, under the influence of the chi of the saber, looks a little dark at the moment, but it still can't hide its sense of hegemony. Its vigorous momentum is as thick as the deep sea. Invisibly, it makes people feel a sense of stability and weight. The domineering spirit of this huge tripod also attracted the attention of the whole audience at the moment. The original majestic flame medicine tripod of Mo Zhai and Wei Yi was like an ordinary small incense burner at the moment. At the same time that the medicine tripod in front of Xiao Yang appeared, Jiyu Li, Kai Phosphorus, Mo Zhai and Wei Yi, the 4 high-level herbalists except Xiao Yang, all showed a strong look of disbelief. When they looked at the medicine tripod in front of Xiao Yang, they seemed to see a great beast. This medicine tripod. This is. On the referee's bench, Red Phosphorus and Jiyu Li suddenly got up from their seats when they saw the medicine tripod. The huge momentum made the stone chairs under them turn into a pile of lime at that moment. At the moment, Red Phosphorus, a pair of turbid old eyes, stared at the medicine tripod in front of Xiao Yang. Because of the shock in his heart, at the moment, when talking, he couldn't spit clearly. It was a sentence that had reached the throat, but it was like a duck pinched by the neck, stuck in his throat and couldn't spit out. If this tripod is good, it should be on the tripod list that day. Luo Tianding. After all, Jiyu Li, as the president, seemed more stable. Although he was also shocked by the medicine tripod in front of Xiao Yang, Jiyu Li forced it down, and his slightly trembling palm gradually stabilized. At this moment, Jiyu Li's determination as president is finally shown at this moment. On the other hand, Mo Zhai and Wei Yi also looked at each other. At the moment, their hearts were even more shocked. Xiao Yang became more and more powerful, and the threat to them became more and more huge. In addition, the strange thing of looking for a king above, they and Xiao Yang were afraid to be immortal. Seeing Xiao Yang again now, Mo Zhai and Wei Yi are even more dignified. Luo Tianshan tripod, this is the second most terrible existence in the tripod list. It is difficult for people who are not a big family to guard this existence. However, the forces that can guard these divine tripods are those that can rank well on the whole continent. At the moment, Xiao Yang can even come up with such a divine tripod, coupled with Xiao Yang's endless terrorist strength, it's really hard to think about it. At this moment, Wei Yi finally felt a sense of retreat. If this rock owl is really the legitimate son of a big family, they will really seek their own death. In this regard, Mo Zhai also frowned, and his heart was as dignified as Wei Yi. All the things Xiao Yang showed were already in line with the core disciples of some real great forces. If so, they might not have a way to live. Of course, Mo Zhai is also a ruthless man. Since the big forces behind Xiao Yang can't provoke them, at present, the rock owl is alone. Although he can't move him in this wild ancient city, he must leave. At that time. In addition, Fang Zun and Wang Qi didn't see each other for a month. In case they were really killed by Xiao Yang, the forces behind them would not give up. This is right for Mo Zhai. At that time, when the Void Thunder Pool will open, the forces that Fang Zun Wang Qi belongs to will send people to the scene. At that time, as long as Mo Zhai tells Fang Zun Wang Qi about them and adds more materials, the rock owl will naturally have a stronger one to deal with. Besides, Wu Mohue's master is not an ordinary person. His apprentice died in Xiao Yang's hands. If he knew, Xiao Yang would have a lot of trouble. With this in mind, Mo Zhai couldn't help laughing. His eyes looking at Xiao Yang were a little more dark, and when he touched Naluo Tianding, a sense of greed rose in his heart. Rock owl, this time, I will not only get your strange fire, but also Luo Tianding. I will not let go. The changes in the faces of the 4 people in the field also made all the people present frown and look at each other. When they look at the medicine tripod in front of Xiao Yang, they all seem very inexplicable. Even the old monster who frowned at the moment. Obviously, he was a little strange to the medicine tripod in front of Xiao Yang. He looked at Mo Zhai, but Mo Zhai looked slightly in his eyes and didn't tell. And this also made Hu Leoge more suspicious, but he still didn't say anything after all. He just secretly wrote down the medicine tripod in front of Xiao Yang in his heart. After a long time, Jiyu Li also tried his best to calm down his emotions. His capable body stood tall and straight, his eyes slowly swept through the audience, and then he opened his mouth and said with a smile. Hehe, well, now that all 3 have sacrificed the medicine tripod, I won't say any more polite words. Since all 3 are high-level herbalists and have great strength, our herbalist guild is also afraid to be careless. Therefore, I took out 3 volumes of Imperial Dan prescriptions that have been cherished by our herbalist guild for a long time. Of course, for the sake of fairness of the competition, these 3 volumes of Dan prescriptions are of the same grade. As for what I need to do, the content of the competition is to see the efficacy of the final pill. As we all know, the elixir in the world is divided into Chengdan, Quandan, Lingdan, Jidan, and Shendan. The content of today's competition is here. The one with the highest grade of elixir will become the final winner of the competition, and the refined elixir and prescription will also belong to him. As soon as he said this, not only all the people on the stand, but also Lian Xiaoyan, as well as Mo Zhai and Wei Yi, felt very excited for a moment. It's a surprise for most herbalists to have the chance to see the imperial pill. Even some high-level herbalists who have been famous for a long time don't necessarily have several volumes of imperial pill in their hands. Even if it is Mo Zhai and Wei Yi, the emperor product Dan Fang in their hands will not exceed 3 volumes. Therefore, we can see how amazing the temptation of the emperor product Dan Fang is. For Xiao Yang, who has never had an imperial pill, Jiyu Li's words are an irresistible temptation to him. He will not let go of the imperial pill. Jiyu Li casually glanced at Xiao Yang's determined look, and couldn't help smiling in his heart. The reason why he did this was to make Xiao Yang pay his best. At that time, the winning rate of his herbalist guild will soar again. In addition, Wei Yi is here. In this competition, their herbalist guild is sure. There was a faint smile at the corners of his mouth, and Jiyu Li waved his big sleeve. The 3 volumes of pills were conveniently carried by a force and flew to the middle of the square. For this, Xiao Yang and the 3 people no longer hesitated. While the 3 volumes of pills flew out, they also shot out and rushed towards the 3 volumes of pills. For the sake of fairness and justice in the competition, the 3 volumes of Danfang have been banned by me. The 3 high-level herbalists have to draw one of them. I think they all understand this. Xiao Yang ignored Jiyu Li's words, and Jiyu Li had to curl his mouth and scold in his heart. He didn't say anything more and turned back to the referee's seat. Without Jiyu Li's control, the 3 volumes of Danfang also fell from the sky like a meteor. Xiao Yang and his 3 people saw this and suddenly flashed in front of the 3 volumes of Danfang. Wei Yi was the first to bear the brunt. He glanced at Xiao Yang, who was coming after him with Yu Guang. His body shook. He suddenly appeared in front of a scroll of Dan Square. His big hand leaned forward and grabbed it. Xiao Yang behind him was also unwilling to be outdone. The light at his feet flashed and Tianju's step was displayed in an instant. His body shape was just like transcending the shackles of space and appeared on one side of Wei Yi's body shape in an instant. With a wave of his arm, an invisible force came out in an instant. In Wei Yi's angry eyes, he blasted the Danfang that was about to be handed by Wei Yi into the sky. And its body shape also appeared in front of another volume of Danfang in an instant. While Wei Yi was not coming, he grabbed it in the past. "Jie, Wei Yi can't, but I'm still here. I'll take this volume of Danfang first." Looking at the coming Danfang, Xiao Yang rushed forward faster, but even so, Mo Zhai's body was still one step faster than him, holding the scroll in the palm of his hand. Seeing this, Xiao Yang couldn't help but take a look of anger on his face, but he still knew what the occasion was. He didn't fight against Mo Zhai, but his body suddenly flashed and rushed towards another volume of Danfang. You have no luck in this volume." Before Xiao Yang arrived, Wei Yi's figure was immediately before the volume of Danfang. With a wave of his big sleeve, he wanted to put the Danfang into his bag and let Xiao Yang eat it again. "With you, Mo Zhai can barely compete with me." "With what?" At the moment, Xiao Yang's heart also couldn't help surging up with anger. With a cold hum, the forward body immediately disappeared in place. At the same time, Xiao Yang suddenly appeared on the side of Wei Yi, and a fist hit Wei Yi's face. At the sight of this, Wei Yi's face changed suddenly. He didn't have time to take his Danfang into the ring. His arms were lifted up in an instant. The fighting spirit in his body gushed out like a tide. He turned into a fighting light shield in front of him and completely protected his head. When Xiao Yang saw this, he put on a sneer, and his heart moved. The blood of the dragon phoenix in his body burst out instantly. The strength of his fist soared again at the moment, and his fist pounded on the fighting light shield. Click! With a crisp sound, the fighting light shield that enveloped Wei Yi's whole head burst after supporting less than 10 breath. However, the giant fist was still powerful and pounded on Wei Yi's arm. Bang! With a bang, Wei Yi's figure shot out in an instant, and was directly blasted out of the scope of the void square by Xiao Yang's fist. Overestimate yourself. As soon as Wei Yi was blown away, Xiao Yang gave a cold hum and took the Danfang in his hand. Then he glanced contemptuously at the stunned Mo Zhai in the distance. With a flash of his body, he returned to his stone platform. Ignoring the shocking eyes of the whole audience, Xiao Yanqiang calmed himself and pressed down the excitement in his heart. His face looked quite calm. He took out the scroll of Danfang, moved his hands together and opened it slowly. Imperial Pill, Imperial Robbery Pill. Xiao Yan looked at the 7 vigorous characters on the scroll in his hand, but his mind was as if he had been controlled for a long time. It really deserves to be the Imperial Elixir. Even Xiao Yang, who is a semi-imperial strongman, can't help being awed by it. It's really hard to imagine how terrible the real Imperial Elixir should be. After a good film, Xiao Yang was suddenly shocked. At the same time, a flame flashed in the depths of his pupils. Xiao Yang also withdrew from his absence, but his eyes were even more shocked when he looked at the scroll in his hand. Is this the power of Emperor Pin Danfang? It's really terrible. If it is opened by Master Jopin, I'm afraid it will be forcibly pulled out of its soul by this Danfang. Xiao Yang couldn't help sighing when he felt the terrible power of the Emperor's Danfang. Meanwhile, on the other side, Mojai slowly spread out the scroll in his hand, and then a bright light flashed in his eyes. Obviously, the Danfang in his hand was also quite good for him. Shua tilde. In the void, a sharp breaking wind suddenly sounded. The terrible speed made the space under rapid compression, and a harsh sound of sonic boom came out, which was amazing. Looking at the fierce fighting spirit, it can be determined that this person at this time must come with incomparable anger. And when everyone on the stand looked at the vague figure with a little doubt, many sharp-eyed people recognized it at the moment. Isn't this Elder Wei Yi? Look at this posture. It's trying to work hard with the rock owl. It seems that it's difficult to hold today's medicine refining masters meeting. As soon as he said this, the people on the stand also reacted in an instant. Although they could not recognize it by the vague light and shadow alone, looking at the direction he rushed forward, we can see that the figure was impressively directed at Xiao Yang. Hey, the old man Wei Yi is really looking for a dead end. The rock owl has defeated the 6-star and half emperor, and his strength is extraordinary. How can he compare? He really responds to the words just said by the rock owl. He is beyond his power. Seeing Wei Yi's angry figure, there were a lot of sarcastic words on the stand, which made everyone burst out a sneer. The 6-star and half emperor retreated. That's just under the premise that he showed his fighting skills. Now the rock owl doesn't have time to show it. Hey, can you forget that the rock owl itself is already a 3-star and half emperor? What super fighting skills do you need to deal with a mere 1-star and half emperor? For a moment, the stands, which had become silent because of Xiao Yang's shock, became boiling again at this moment, but Xiao Yang and Wei Yi, as the focus of their speech, paid no attention at all. The former is naturally too lazy to prove anything. Those things, but worldly things, vanity, have no attraction to Xiao Yang. As for Wei Yi, his anger is rising in his heart at the moment. With his strength, all the words in the population are naturally heard by him, but in his heart, he is more and more angry. Because in these words, more people still despise and ridicule him. In this way, the anger in Wei's heart is more uncontrollable. At the moment, the only idea in his heart is to knock down Xiao Yang, and the strength between him and Xiao Yang is thrown out of the sky. Suddenly, Wei Yi rushed to Xiao Yang, but his body was suddenly shocked. The forward speed soared again. The terrible speed made the strong wind around him as sharp as an extreme soldier. The thunderous sound of sonic booms can be heard all the more. The terrible smell of the semi-imperial strongman also rages on the whole void square in an instant, making many people in this scene suddenly change their complexion at the moment. If Jiu Li hadn't made a strong move to protect the whole square, at least half of these people would have been crushed to death by this momentum. Drink. Rock owl, die. Wei suddenly gave out a fierce roar like a beast in his mouth. Without waiting for his voice to fall, Wei Yi's whole body appeared in front of Xiao Yang. At this moment, his fighting spirit was like a sharp blade tearing the void. It condensed in an instant, turned into a huge blade, and cut off Xiao Yang's head with a knife. Before the knife fell, the void square below was replaced by a wide crack. At this moment, the whole void square was forcibly cut in half by this fierce knife. From the ground, the vast void square covering one side of the sky seems to have been divided into 2 parts at the moment. A straight crack passes through the whole square. The dazzling brilliance also crosses the defense of the square and falls on the earth at the moment. However, even so, the stone platform on the verge of breaking under Xiao Yang's feet was not affected by this terrible knife, that is, even a grain of dust had not moved a bit. At the sight of this scene, Wei's pupils were suddenly tightened, and his heart was shocked. However, the power of the fierce blow above his head was not reduced at all. On the contrary, the fighting spirit in his body poured out like a river into the sea, and all of it was injected into the huge blade in his hand. At this moment, Wei Yi is sober. Xiao Yang's strength is really not just relying on his fighting skills, but on his real strength. There is no doubt about Xiao Yang's strength, but now, the arrow has been stringed, and it is too late to retreat. That is, we can only go all out, put all our eggs in one basket, and try our best to fight with Xiao Yang. At the moment, Xiao Yang has not fought with him and won it in one fell swoop. Perhaps only in this way can we have a chance to win. With the injection of fighting spirit, the huge blade of Lingtian suddenly emits a dazzling golden light. That is, even the sunlight shining on heaven and earth is covered by its light at this moment. The people on the stand couldn't even open their eyes. Only those who were semi-emperor and strong dared to look directly, but they also had a strong dignified color in their eyes. Wei Yi's attack is probably some 2-star and half emperors, who dare not underestimate at all. At the moment, Xiao Yang still looks like a light cloud and light wind. If he is hit by Wei Yi's knife, he will be seriously injured at worst. In the twinkling of an eye, the distance between Xiao Yang and Wei Yi is only a short 10 feet. At this moment, the huge blade of Lingtian is already on the top of Xiao Yang's head. The most terrible power is like an ancient beast roaring towards Xiao Yang's head. The cold wind makes Xiao Yang feel a little suffocated. And his eyebrows are also slightly wrinkled. This feeling of approaching death is not good. However, I have to say that only this feeling can really stimulate him and make his heart burn completely. Drink. Rock owl, die. Ha ha. Remember, today next year is your Memorial Day, but don't regret today's Tuoda. It's strange that you can only provoke people who shouldn't be provoked. Die. At the end of his life, Xiao Yang was still indifferent and indifferent. It was like the giant blade on the top of his head, which had nothing to do with him. However, in his eyes, there are also strands of gorgeous fire, constantly condensing. At the moment, Wei Yi, who is almost crazy, is unaware of this slight change in Xiao Yang's pupil. The only thing he knows in his heart is that Xiao Yang has no time to move again. When his knife falls, it is also when Xiao Yang, the great 3-star and half emperor, falls. Since then, his name of Wei Yi will be known to more people, because today, he forcibly killed a 3-star and half emperor with the strength of 1-star and half emperor. These achievements are enough to attract the attention of some big forces. This small medicine refining guild will no longer be a reason to bind him. At the same time, on the stand, Jiyu Li and Red Phosphorus have already made full preparations and are always ready to stop Wei Yi. As early as in the past, Red Phosphorus had already wanted to fight, but he and Jiyu Li also believed in Xiao Yang's strength and believed that Xiao Yang would never really trust him. Even if Wei Yi did his best, Xiao Yang would be prepared. However, I'm afraid he was really careless looking at Xiao Yang now. Of course, as the sponsor of this herbalist meeting, Jiyu Li should have stopped this situation at the moment, but he can clearly feel that in the void, the old thing Hu Larugui is still guarding against him. If he does, he is afraid he will stop himself. At that time, there will be a lot of trouble. While everyone hesitated, the giant blade of Lingtian in Wei Yi's hand had come to Xiao Yang. It was only a few inches away from Xiao Yang's head. At this moment, if Xiao Yang didn't do it again, the next moment would be when Xiao Yang fell. The next moment. Do it. Do it. Jiyu Li and Red Phosphorus roared out a fierce drink almost at the same time. Their body shape suddenly burst, and the space in front of them burst. However, their body shape has already appeared 100 feet in front of Xiao Yang. As long as they are willing, they can completely stop Wei Yi before the giant blade falls. Hehe, you two don't see me in your eyes. Before they reached Xiao Yang, the figure of the old Hu monster suddenly appeared like a ghost, appeared in front of Jiyu Li and Kai Phosphorus, and stopped them. Old monster Hu, although you are not weaker than me, don't forget that there are 8.5 emperors in our herbalist guild. You can stop me, but you can't stop Red Phosphorus. Guli's voice didn't fall, but Red Phosphorus moved. He didn't pay any attention to the old Hu monster in front of him. His body burst and flashed, which was to rush towards Xiao Yang. Jie, can you stop it? But it's not up to you to try, Jie. Hearing Jiyu Li's words, Hu Leogwa giggled and flashed in front of the Red Phosphorus. His dry palm was like an iron wall to stop the Red Phosphorus. Jiyu Li also caught up with the old monster when he disappeared. When the old monster stopped the Red Phosphorus, he hit it with one hand and bombarded it with the old monster's hand. The next moment, Jiyu Li's face was suddenly changed, and an old face was also full of shock. Hu Leoge looked at Jiyu Li with a strange smile, and suddenly forced Jiyu Li back 3 steps. On the other hand, in Red Phosphorus's eyes, the huge blade on Xiao Yang's head was too late to stop. Even if he broke out with all his strength, it was too late. Wei Yi, stop it. If you don't stop, I'll abolish you today. In a hurry, Red Phosphorus couldn't help but turn his old face red with anger. His teeth were all bitten and cluttered. A pair of red eyes stared at Wei Yi and roared angrily. When Wei Yi heard this, he became more violent in his eyes, showed an extremely ferocious bloody smile towards Red Phosphorus, and suddenly waved the huge blade in his palm. The next moment, on the horizon, Jiyu Li and Hu Laoge were cold relative. Red Phosphorus was shocked on his face and shocked in his heart, which made him unable to spit out a word. On the grandstand, in the VIP seat, Xian Laro's slightly tight body also relaxed slowly at the moment, slowly spitting out the turbid air held in his chest. In a pair of turbid old eyes, he also had an irrecoverable shock color. Rock owl. Really? Monster. He sighed helplessly in his heart. Such a powerful young generation is the child of his family. I'm afraid it's a little inferior. At the moment, the half-emperor strong men are more shocked than the Red Phosphorus and others. They are looking at Xiao Yang as if they were looking at a monster. Above the void, Xiao Yang's right arm has turned into a golden dragon arm at the moment. The body of diamond glass and the ancient armor of dragon phoenix are in Xiao Yang's hands. At the moment, it can be called a real pure fire. It can be controlled freely. If you move your mind, you can display it at will. At the moment, Xiao Yang's dragon arm tightly controls the Lingtian giant blade above his head. To be exact, Xiao Yang only uses 2 dragon fingers. The startling saber that can cut off everything in the world is taken by Xiao Yang's 2 fingers at will. After the thunder baptism of the empty thunder beast, Xiao Yang's flesh has soared again in this short month. The strength of Wei Yi no longer poses the slightest threat to him. In Xiao Yang's eyes, Wei Yi is no different from the ants. At the moment, Wei Yi also seemed to be splashed with a basin of ice water in an instant. The whole person woke up in an instant, but it was unexpected that Xiao Yang's strength was so strong. In front of Xiao Yang, his proud fighting skills can't even compare with his 2 fingers. I said earlier that Mo Zhai was reluctant to fight with me because his apparent strength was similar to mine, but why should you rely on the old man? It's really ignorant. Since you are so stubborn, I don't mind removing a scourge for the Herbalist Guild, so. Xiao Yang's voice didn't fall, but Wei Yi's face suddenly turned pale. He tried to suppress his inner fear and shouted to Xiao Yang. Rock owl. You. What do you want to do? I'm the chief smelter of the Medicine Refining Association. You can't kill me. If you kill me, you'll be an enemy of the Medicine Refining Association. Then. Having said so much, I don't want me to kill you. Being afraid of death is just being afraid of death. Why are there so many reasons? It's really noisy. As soon as the voice fell, Xiao Yang's eyes suddenly became fierce. The strength on the 2 dragon fingers condensed in an instant, and then it came out with a crisp click. The huge blade of Lingtian also broke into pieces, scattered and disappeared in the void. At the next moment, there is no need for Wei Yi to say more. In Xiao Yang's eyes, 2 fire beams condensed to the extreme are shot out in an instant, and the words Wei Yi is about to export are sealed forever. With a flash of fire, Wei Yi's body fell slowly, but his body disappeared slowly like a remnant. Only the strongest person knew that it was not a disappearance, but was completely burned by a different fire. The body was nothing. In the distant sky, the previously empty square that covered the heaven and earth like a dark cloud has already been replaced by a wide crack at this moment, just like seeing the sun through the clouds, but anyone knows what terrible power that crack covers. At this moment, Jiyu Li and Hu Laoge stood opposite each other on the void square, and their eyes were full of sense. Jiyu Li stared at the old Hu monster in front of him with a pair of turbid old eyes. His eyes narrowed slightly and looked at the old Hu monster. There was an indelible dignified color in the depths of his eyes. In any case, he did not expect that Hu Laoge, whose strength was slightly inferior to that of him before January, was actually more refined than himself after January. In terms of strength alone, he was already 1 level ahead of himself. Jiyu Li old ghost, how can I stop you now? When Hu Laoge saw Jiyu Li's surprised and suspicious face, he also pulled out a sneer on his dry, dark and yellow face. His thin palm was playing in the void in front of him. A faint momentum and pressure also spread quietly, which made dozens of semi-imperial strong men in the game change their faces at the moment. Under their breath perception, although the strength of Hu Laoge is still good, but now its momentum is more powerful than the ordinary 8-star and half-emperor. Even if it is better than Jiyu Li, it is a lot stronger. If the two fight, I'm afraid Jiyu Li will be difficult to beat it back. Of course, despite this, Jiyu Li still has Red Phosphorus, a strong man of the same level. Hu Laoge doesn't dare to do it easily. After all, the strength of the 8.5-star emperors cannot be easily measured. Even if he is stronger than the two, even he has to retreat in front of the two 8.5-star emperors. I can't imagine that you can break through to the later stage of the 8.5-star emperor in January, but even if you break through now, it's impossible to think about breaking through again in the future. Feeling the breath of old Hu, Jiyu Li smiled coldly in his eyes, and his eyes looked more and more gloomy. At the level of half-emperor, the division of strength has become more and more refined. After all, the strong half-emperor is too powerful. Even the world this week is difficult to suppress it. The more so, it is more and more difficult for the semi-emperor strong to improve their strength. It is not surprising that if the ordinary semi-emperor strong want to improve the strength of 1 star, they will be closed for 100 years. Even after 100 years of isolation, the strength of the Numenon may not be much improved. This statement is true. People who have been closed for 100 years are not allowed to break through. There have been many examples on the mainland. In this way, we can imagine how difficult it is to improve the strength of the semi-imperial strong. Therefore, some necessary division of strength is quietly spread across the whole continent. Above the half-emperor, each small realm is divided into 4 small realms: early stage, middle stage, late stage, and peak. This division also makes the world have a new understanding of their own strength. At the same time, the desire for strength is also burning again. 4th-class division and 4th-class strength are just like forcibly dividing the strong in the same realm into 3 teachings and 9 streams. Even if they are the same strong 8.5-star emperor, in front of the late 8.5-star emperor, Jiyu Li's strength in the middle of the 8.5-star emperor is still difficult to resist. It can also be understood why Jiyu Li felt so dignified after feeling the breath of old Hu monster. It can make a strong man in the middle of the 8.5-star emperor feel dignified. The strength of the latter, I'm afraid, is the worst. Let's reach the later stage of the 8.5-star emperor. As for the sneer on Jiyu Li's face, Hu Laoge smiled non-committally. In his eyes, he also flashed a sarcastic color and forced a breakthrough. However, he never said this. The reason why he made a move for Wei today is that his strength was improved in January. Under the strong impact of 3 imperial pills, his strength was finally improved again, and finally broke through to the level of the late 8.5-star emperor. Although the strength is not very stable in a short time, it is more than enough if you want to block Jiyu Li and them. Jiyu Li, I think you'd better save your heart and don't care about me anymore. The new high-level herbalist of your herbalist guild, hey, I'm afraid he's lost his soul under Wei Yi's all-out attack. A group of arrogant Lengtaoking think that they can be unscrupulous with some strength. They really don't know the greatness of heaven and earth. Today's end is for him. Wake up all your life. While Jiyu Li was staring at the old monster with a cold face, the old ghost in front of him laughed, stroked his beard with one hand and looked at Jiyu Li with a smile, as if he were waiting to see Jiyu Li's angry face. Jiyu Li's face changed again when he heard this. He only paid attention to the old Hu monster in front of him, but he forgot about Xiao Yang. At the moment, once he turned around, his face immediately turned into anxiety. His eyes turned and looked in the direction of Xiao Yang. The first thing that came into view was the figure of red phosphorus standing in the void. Jiyu Li was even more shocked when he saw this. If Xiao Yang had an accident and Wei Yi exhausted his strength, wouldn't his herbalist guild lose his wife and lose his soldiers today? Not only did he lose his long-standing association of medicine refiners, but also a talented medicine refiner with more development prospects. After this, Jiyu Li was afraid that he was bound to break Wei Yi's body into pieces, frustrate his bones and ashes, and vent his hatred. The next moment, with Jiyu Li's scarlet eyes looking at the past, a not very strong man figure slowly reflected in Jiyu Li's eyes. Wearing a black robe, he has a tall and straight posture and a beautiful face. He stands aloof, but in his eyes, there is a sense of indifference and disdain. This person is not Xiao Yang. Who else can there be? Seeing this scene, Jiyu Li seemed to have lost his old eyes. The scarlet color in his eyes quickly receded like a tide, shook his head gently, and then looked at it again. At the next moment, Jiyu Li's eyes suddenly opened, showing an incredible look in his eyes, and he was shocked by the scene in front of him. After seeing Jiyu Li's startled face, old monster who couldn't help raising his eyebrows. Based on his understanding of Jiyu Li's face looked suspicious at the moment. When Hu Laoge turned and looked, just for a moment, Hu Laoge, who was a strong man in the later period of the 8.5-star emperor, was still like those semi-emperor strong men in the stands. His face suddenly became wonderful. Where Jiyu Li saw it, Xiao Yang was not afraid when he faced the huge blade of Lingtian. He just poked out 2 fingers and clamped the terrible blade. Such power can really shake people's heart. A 1.5-star emperor's all-out strike was solved by Xiao Yang's understatement. If it was spread, I'm afraid the southwest region of the mainland will cause a great sensation. 1.5-star emperor is not a detached and absolute strong man in this southwest region, but it is also the supreme strong man who really stands at the top of the pyramid. But now, a 1.5-star emperor is so vulnerable in front of Xiao Yang, a 3.5-star emperor. Even if Xiao Yang is a 3.5-star emperor and is stronger than Wei Yi in strength, I'm afraid some 2.5-star emperors can't resist Wei Yi's knife. However, now, this powerful knife is directly broken by Xiao Yang with 2 fingers. This means is not shocking. Above the sky, Xiao Yang's dragon arm slowly dissipated, and a white, tender and smooth arm like a baby's skin also slowly appeared in the sun. The arm is casually negative behind, and a pair of clear eyes are also slowly closed, as if searching for something. At the same time, an invisible force also repaired Xiao Yang's disappeared sleeve robe behind Xiao Yang's arm. Quietly, a breeze is coming, which makes Xiao Yang's clothes and robes can't help stirring with the wind. Although all this seems invisible, it also makes the people present feel a burst of blood boiling for Xiao Yang's action, and their hearts can't help but burst out a cry of harmony. Domineering. When a man is in the world, he can control the universe and regret the sky. If he can do one of them, it can be regarded as a real worthwhile trip. If he can break through, his achievements in the future will be not low. However, today, Xiao Yang reverses the law of heaven and earth, which seems to be a situation of death, but he regrets it. Wei Yi's death today must have a great effect on Xiao Yang. After all, no matter what, before Xiao Yang really started, Wei Yi let him feel the breath of the door of life and death again. Most friars, usually at this moment, can only show their real strength and stimulate the hidden terrorist potential in their bodies. At the same time, they can make their overall strength go further, so as to reverse life and death and find a way to live. Although the breath was very ethereal just now, even Xiao Yang almost couldn't catch it, but fortunately, although it didn't have any great effect, Xiao Yang still felt a palpitation in his heart. This is enough for Xiao Yang. Recalling the strange feeling that has passed away in his heart, Xiao Yang's heart is surprisingly calm. Even everything outside is forgotten by him. The whole person seems to exist in another world. After a good film, Xiao Yang's lightly closed eyes finally opened slowly. A pair of brighter eyes slowly scanned around, as if they were here for the first time. This. Xiao Yang frowned slightly, but he soon woke up. Everything in his memory returned to his mind in an instant. In the end, Xiao Yang's eyes also slowly fell on Jiu Li with a surprised face. Cough cough, and write a little more, old face read, as soon as possible into the Alchemy Linkha collection. This video will end here.